Welcome back to Lock 22 Sports Daily. I'm
Hey,
Ben
yeah,
Fraser.
welcome back.
Why are you so energetic
Why are
today?
you not? Sports, baby, sports.
I went to work today.
I worked
Anyway,
all
I'm
day
going
today.
back. Huh?
I worked all day today. People need to be excited about sports. Can't get excited about sports. Don't be here.
I mean, I'm excited as I ever am. Anyway, I'm Ben Shrewsbury. The excited one is Damon Marvin. You know what we're here to do. This is Lock 22 Sports Daily. Damon, how are you today, buddy?
Oh, maybe I'm a little jacked up. Maybe just a little bit.
Why? Is it because the Yankees remembered how to hit and maybe this World Series won't be a total disaster?
Well, certainly there's that. But here's the thing about that. Are we on the clock? I don't even know yet.
We're not yet. That was just me being silly.
All right. Well, I'll save it for the clock. But I think, yeah, I'm okay with the way things are right now, and I'll explain later.
Well, anyway, let's start the clock. The clock starts right about now.
Perfect.
Uh let's talk about it. Dodgers Yankees. Another game that failed to entertain me. Maybe it's just because I don't care.
I think it is because I found last night's game vastly entertaining, and a lot of people and I was texting with a lot of people throughout the game that were just having a blast with it. So, and none of them are Yankees fans. There's a couple of things that we need to understand. Freddie Freeman is ridiculous, first of all.
Well, yes.
To have four consecutive games with four home runs is one thing, but when you do it in the World Series, that's downright. Has that ever been done before? Four
It's
in
been
a row?
done a couple of times, but
Well, certainly
one other
not
time I
five,
think.
though.
I
Probably
think
not
five
five.
was the record, and
All
I
right.
think he tied it.
We'll have to look that up. We'll have to look that up and see what's going on. There's that. But here's the thing, Ben. A team that goes down 3-0 has never made it to a game six.
And they're sending Garrett Cole to the mound tonight, which should give Yankees fans no hope whatsoever. That guy sucks.
All right. That guy sucks. I'm not going to agree with that, but certainly you have your reasoning for saying so. But here's the thing. If they go to game six, it's historic World Series. It's historic. Whether you want to like it or admit it or not, a game six
You're
would be
gonna try
historic.
to defend this World Series no matter what, because Rob Manfred is your best friend.
A game six in this World Series after going 3-0 would be historic. A game seven is outright one of the best World Series ever. Um, to that degree. Now, here's the things that are troubling. Like the best players in the game, Otani and Judge, they're but an afterthought. I mean, who would think that Volpe and Freddie Freeman at 34 years old would be the stars of this game? But that's what's cool about baseball. Like you can go hot at any time, you can go cold at any time. Um, it's just
Aaron Judge finally got a hit last
he
night.
did get hit last night. So did Otani. Um, and they were unceremonious at best. We've seen two grand slams in this World Series. That's pretty cool. I just feel like there's a lot of
I
base.
just hate both these teams, so I
I
can
know.
both of them lose? Like, is that an option?
Dude, I've often times in my life said when asked, who do you want to win? And would say, well, we'd all win if the stadium would just implode. I've said
This
that.
is one of those situations.
But here, I do this often, Ben, so I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and not totally just rip you apart because baseball rules. But like probably five out of the last six Super Bowls, I've just been like, I don't care if the building implodes. I honestly don't. That would be more entertaining to me.
Yeah, me too.
But see, here's the thing about the Super Bowl. It's one game. So I hear
Right.
you when you say the World Series sucks because a win in four would be like one game World Series. But now, I mean, even at 3-1, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of life left. But if they get this game tonight and go to game six, not only would the Dodgers be able to win at home if they win it, which would be ideal, but we're looking at history, a game six in a situation where that's never happened in the vast history of baseball, right? Um, I get
I
that
just
you're
don't
not,
think the Yankees are very good, especially because I think they're going to lose Juan Soto. Garrett Cole is on the back end of what was a very good career for a while, but has not been good for 2 years. You know,
don't you believe in romance, man?
not
You
anymore.
ever see that movie For Love of the Game?
Not. I believe
You
in
ever see it?
romance. I believe in romance in non-professional baseball, but romance in professional baseball is dead,
Did you
and it
ever
has
see
been
the
for
movie
years.
For Love of the
No,
Game?
no. Anyway.
Let me set the stage for you. Then it's Kevin Costner as a Detroit Tiger, probably close to
Oh wait,
40.
I have seen this movie. Never mind.
Yeah, and he's been on a shitty team for a long time, and he's not necessarily been the greatest pitcher. But he goes out in the last game of the season and he throws a perfect game. Why can't Garrett Cole do that?
Uh, because
Why can't
one,
he do that? Or at least perform well enough to get a win. Why couldn't he do that?
one, he'll go 6 innings max because Aaron Boone doesn't know how to manage a bullpen.
Well, that's baseball these days. A lot of guys don't get past the sixth inning.
Yeah, yeah, but it's especially bad when your manager's Aaron Boone and will put in his worst reliever at the worst time.
All right. Well, I'll be
I do
watching.
make a point there.
I'll be watching all this stuff. I want to. I want to make sure that we get your point fully fledged out. Other than, I just hate these two teams, and nothing they do is going to make me interested.
Well, that is the case though. Nothing this that happens here is going to make me care about this World Series. I'll care about baseball again in March. Hell, I'll care in December when free agency fully gets going and the winter meetings happen and a bunch of people sign and get traded and do all that. I'll care about baseball again. But
All
this
right.
World Series has me so divested that it's funny.
It is funny. I think I'm gaining a lot of fans at your disdained expense, but that's fine. Did you see what happened in the first inning of this game?
I missed like the first 2 innings of this game because I wasn't home.
Well, let me tell you something, Ben. Austin Capobianco and John Peter, longtime Yankee season ticket holders,
Are these the guys that got banned?
yeah. Did you see this?
I saw the headline. I didn't.
Out look, I'm gonna put the picture up right now. These two guys were ripping the glove off of Mookie Betts, twisting his arm around. I mean, the guy could have been injured. And these two guys, I mean, it's absurd.
You
And
just can't do that.
they got thrown. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen on a fan. Steve Bartman, you're absolved of
All sins.
everything
All sins.
by comparison. You were just there, innocent bystander, trying to watch the game and catch a ball. These guys were absolute thug thieves trying to steal the ball out of Mookie Betts' hand, and he caught the ball, but they call fan interference.
As they should.
Um, I don't like anything about this, Ben. They, I've heard mixed reports that they're allowed to come back to game five, but then
They're
I've
not.
also read that they were banned and got refunded their money back.
The Athletic reported today that they will not be allowed in the building tonight.
They should never be allowed in the building again, as far as I'm concerned. That's just
Well,
jack.
they will be because the Yankees don't care. The
That's
Yankees
jack.
would rather see their fans kill the other team than play fair. That's how the Yankees have always been. That's why I call them, you're going to want to bleep this, the pin shits. Anyway, we're moving on.
All right.
NFL Week
Uh,
9 stuff. Getting ready
NFL Week
for it.
9.
Cam Robinson, left tackle from Jacksonville, goes to Minnesota. Why
Is
is Jacksonville
Jacksonville in a
trading this
fire
guy?
sale? Is Jacksonville going to fire sale?
They don't have to. I don't know why they would.
They're 2-6.
I mean, their season's over for all intents and purposes.
Well, they're trading a left tackle away to protect Sam Darnold and essentially give up on Trevor Lawrence.
They Jacksonville, like, Cam Robinson is a good left tackle. He's not Christian Darrisaw. Do not get me wrong,
No.
but he is a good left tackle that they gave up for a fifth round pick, which is essentially nothing. What
Oh,
would a
dude,
fifth
it's a
round pick?
great move for Minnesota. I'm wondering what the
What the
thought
hell
process
Jacksonville's
is.
doing?
I mean, that what if he gets killed in the next game? They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we did that to you. Sorry."
Trevor Lawrence might be on injured reserve watch.
Deontay Johnson traded from the Panthers to the Ravens. That's a good move as well.
It's another Carolina. What are you doing? But I get it. I mean, you got one win all year. You're probably not going to win another game. Um, Deadline's next week. You had to do something. I don't think they got very much for him, but
No. I don't either, but let's be honest. If the Panthers are collecting draft picks, they're gonna need all of them. Not convinced that the general manager knows what to do with the picks based on the fact that he chose Bryce Young when he could have had CJ Stroud.
he'll hit on, like, if he trades for 99 draft picks in the next like 3 years, he'll hit on one of them. I'm convinced.
Wow,
And
that's a pretty low rate.
it'll be a punter somehow.
Kind of hard to miss on a punter.
Well, it is. That's what I'm saying. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway,
Um,
Anthony Richardson got benched.
so I put this back in the notes today because we talked about it yesterday, and then we talked about it this morning on NFL. And I was like, you know what? What are you doing? You're stupid for benching this kid. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then I saw what happened, and you kind of touched on it yesterday, and I breezed over it because I didn't understand what you were talking about. This cat checks himself out of the game on third down and goal because he's tired.
I tried to explain this to you yesterday and
You
you rushed
didn't.
me
You just
along.
said he checked himself out of the game. I was like, well, I didn't. There's many things that could mean. So you should have hammered home the point. Like, no, dude, he literally took himself out of the game.
Well,
Which he
unlike
did.
you, I try not to fight on this show.
Well, you got to point out when I'm wrong or when there's something I need to know because clearly I don't know everything. So when I found this out after we did NFL today, and we were both spellbound as to why you would start uh an aging Joe Flacco when you're 4-4 and you only lost by 3 points, that is the difference. I'm on the side now that I might never play him again. I might just trade him away and let him be someone else's problem. The kid's got so much talent. They knew he was a project when they got him, but they didn't know that he was going to be a quitter. And
He
quite
has been
frankly,
statistically the least accurate quarterback in the NFL this year.
yeah, but Justin Fields was that last year. And so was Jordan Love first half of the season. I mean, they were bad. They were real bad. And both of those guys were able to turn it around. So I don't think he's dead in the water. I think when you pull something like that on this team, you're done with that team. He needs to go somewhere else, just like Bryce Young. Maybe they can swap.
But notice what you're saying. Justin Fields was on a bad team last year. I don't think the Packers are a particularly great team. I think they're a good team. I
No,
I don't
that's my point. Jordan Love looked like he couldn't throw a ball 10 yards down the field for the first half of the season last year and ended up making the playoffs. He figured it out. So my point is whatever play you're seeing from this kid in less than a season's worth of games, because let's not forget he was injured in game 3 last year and has played about 4 or 5 games this year. So we're not very far into his career. And there's times where he's looked absolutely stellar. This game was not one of them. But the attitude problem that you have right now with him, checking himself out of a game because he's tired or fatigued, whatever you call it. As a quarterback, you don't get that luxury. Wide receiver, running back, yeah, you get to get yourself pulled out of the game when you're winded. But it doesn't work like that for quarterback.
Bill Belichick talked about it on McAfee's show,
What did he
and
say?
he's like, he's seen it before, but never in the NFL.
Unbelievable.
So, uh, well, Belichick's seen darn near every play of football that's ever happened ever. That guy's a monster for this stuff. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, Thursday night football tomorrow. The Texans and the Jets. I don't want to watch this Jets team again. Please help me.
Dude, I said this at the beginning of the season. Why in the hell do we have nine
That's half the
goddamn
games.
Jets games in prime time? Why?
They're going to get flexed out of so many of them.
I'm just
They already
tired of
got flexed out of one of them, I think.
tired of it. If I look at the schedule next year and the Jets have more than two, I'm gonna flip out.
The Vikings at the start of the year only had two primetime games. How bad of a decision does that look like now that you already had to flex them into another one?
Yeah. Anyway, be sure to
Now,
check out NFL. We'll cover the full gauntlet of games, but I want to address that Anthony Richards thing here because we did not know that information when we recorded earlier today. So,
some NBA stuff. Mavs and the Wolves. Man, dude, the Wolves just cannot figure it out on a consistent basis right now. And I think it's some of that, like, three of the guys just got their stuff with DiVincenzo and Randall. And
well, I want you to be fair, Ben. I know that this is your team, so sometimes when we're talking about our own team, we either look upon them with the rose-colored glasses or just we are not wearing glasses. We just hate everything about it. I know that
like
there's
you with the Blazers, you hate everything.
right, right. There's room to be optimistic for you and Minnesota.
Oh, they're going to figure it out. Like,
This
they're too talented not to.
Avs team did not get worse over the offseason. They got better. And
I think last year was a fluke, but I agree with you.
not forget they were in the champ. Yeah, I mean it could be. Maybe they weren't the best team out of the West, but they made it. They got better. So we'll see if they're able to duplicate it this year. But early on, they're looking like they can play together. And I'm excited about it.
121-14 the final there. And then the Nuggets and the Nets. The Nuggets go to overtime with another bad team.
Um, I did call all four of these games yesterday correctly, which makes me happy because
That's
the
rare.
first I know it's very rare. Opening night, I missed both.
I think you've gotten one other game right
Yeah. So,
in all sports across the board. Oh, sorry.
but
You got that Yankees Dodgers game last night right too. Hey,
so
you had a
not,
pretty good day yesterday.
not gonna give up on it, but yeah, dude, Jokic triple double. I mean, the guy just when we say it doesn't look like he cares,
He says screw those guys and goes
goes
out
down
there.
a couple of exceptional games right in a row.
Now the rest of his team can't do mostly anything
Yeah, what's
outside of
going on
Gordon
with
and
Murray?
Murray. I mean, he was
Okay.
good last night, but he wasn't 3 years ago Jamal Murray, where he looked like he was going to be like a top six point guard in the league,
Oh,
which he's not that.
that'd be an interesting breakdown.
If I give you if I give you the option right now of Jamal Murray or Scoot Henderson, who are you taking?
Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, and I don't think
I
it's particularly.
I think that is probably a rare pick. But I just think Scoot Henderson's not, he hasn't found his rhythm yet. I've seen some games where he goes off and they're super fun, but his problem is foul trouble. He gets in foul trouble way too much. And that limits his minutes and then so on and so forth. But I
Uh,
think he's a great player. He's going to be great.
One of your favorite teams, Damon. I don't know why. The Kings just keep on rolling. Domantas Sabonis drops 28 last night, and they beat a really bad Jazz team.
Um, yeah, you're right. I do have an affinity for Sacramento. I think it stems from Sabonis first and foremost, but then Keegan Murray also playing at Iowa. Um, I watched him in college, and I mean, he's turning into a star in the pros. So now, if Chris Murray for Portland, please do the same thing and be as good as your brother, please.
Is Will Hardy on Fired by Christmas Watch?
Is any? I mean, that's not quite mid-season. I don't know.
No, I'm serious because like they almost fired him last. I think he's a really good coach. I, I think he's gotten more out of
I
that
mean, you could
team.
say the same thing about Chauncey Billups. He's been there long enough, and he's never turned out a quality product. He's a good coach, though. I mean, I don't know who you replace him with.
I don't
That's
know
the
who the
thing. That's the thing, Ben. Yeah, you're on to something, but who do you put in there? Who do you install in there that's going to make a difference on that team right now?
I don't think anybody would put up with trading away their best players when Will Hardy's had them in playoff contention each of the last 2 years at the deadline and they've traded everybody.
There you go.
Pelicans and the Warriors. Warriors don't have Curry. It didn't matter.
What's going on with Curry?
I I don't think he's hurt. He just didn't play last night.
So sick of this too.
And maybe he's hurt and I just didn't find it,
I
but
mean,
I couldn't.
we'll save that argument for a different show, but I need to see more of these players missing before I go down that path.
Well, Warriors won that game 124-106. I think the Pelicans are on fall apart watch. Again,
It's fair.
what is this? The third time in 4 years that team's been on, oh God, it's all falling apart?
Yeah.
Nine games
About the
tonight, Dames.
Pelicans. It's hard to get up about that.
9 games tonight, Dames. Speaking of hard to get up, it is hard to get up about really most any of these, other than if you're a fan of one of these
Come
teams.
on, Ben. You got half the league playing tonight. You're gonna piss on it?
Okay,
Really?
other than your team,
I mean, Celtics Pacers is a good matchup from the playoffs last year.
the
They
Celtics are going to destroy them.
Celtics could get their first loss.
I no.
Am I predicting it? Hell no. You got Hawks at Wizards, Lakers, Cavs, Pistons, Sixers, Celtics, Pacers, Raptors, Hornets, Knicks, Heat. That's always a good matchup. Nets, Grizz, Magic, Bulls, Spurs, Thunder. That's going to
That's
be good.
oddly enough the game I'm most intrigued by.
Yeah, I mean, Wemby versus Chet. That's good stuff.
If they both play, which we just talked about a second ago, if they both play, who
And then
knows?
you got Pelicans, Warriors again for some reason.
If you want to watch the sequel, it's on literally tonight.
Then you got Portland and LA for the Clippers for the Clip Show. I don't think that's a bad slate of games at all. Um,
There's certainly been worse, but this
I
is the
can't
worst one
watch them
this
all.
year.
I can't watch them all for sure.
This is the worst slate of games this year, but the NBA always loads up the first week or two. I think they're done loading up the schedule now, though, until the end season's tournament starts.
All right. So let's move to the WNBA. Just,
I
there's
don't
been
even know what to say about this stuff.
some coach firings, like half the teams. There's probably more coming, but the two that I want to talk about, and I'll tell you why. The Indiana Fever a couple days ago fired their head coach, Christy Sides. And in my opinion, It's been a long time coming. She has mishandled the Caitlin Clark situation. Not, I won't say in every way, but she does nothing to protect her. When she gets fouled hard, she just looks the other way. She doesn't have any instinct towards protecting the players, and that's on the court and off the court. She's not been a good coach for Caitlin Clark. Now, some people have been arguing this is the first time they made the playoffs, blah 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 blah. That was Caitlin Clark. That wasn't the coach. And so they finally decided to cut ties with her. At the same time, the Connecticut Sun had fired Stephanie White. I believe, and the reason I'm calling out these two coaches here, I believe that Stephanie White may become the next coach of the Indiana Fever. Um,
Was this a the Sun fired her because she was talking to the Fever and she wasn't supposed to situation potentially?
yeah, among other
Tinfoil hat, Ben. Can we break out the tinfoil hats here? Like, let's
among
break
other
out our
things,
tinfoil hats.
I look, to me, you have a constant tinfoil hat on the show.
No, dude, I'm a skeptic and I don't like a lot of stuff.
No, yeah, you're right. We see that here, and
At least I'm
it's
honest about
fun.
it.
No, I know. I even asked you once why you on a sports show when you don't like sports.
Oh, I like sports. I just think there's more dumb stuff in sports than people want to acknowledge.
Um, See, and I think that's what makes us a good pairing because I don't really focus on things like money, things like, you know, the product is what I care most about. And
Well, I care most about the product as well, but I think money dilutes the product, especially in baseball. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about right now.
I mean, it's a fair point, and that's not what I'm here to argue. Um, I would probably tend to agree with that, but
Look what money has done to the NBA product. I would argue the reason this resting stuff has started is because of the money.
I would I would argue what I always argue, and that's just the way the game has changed. The people are not going towards the basket. They're standing outside waiting to shoot three pointers, and that's not fun to watch.
I don't know. I I think if if they even have a WNBA season next year, which is part of why this kind of stood out to me as weird, the fact that it was in the notes. I'm like, wait, aren't they like headed for a lockout or a work stoppage or something here?
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about it before because I want to have this prediction on the record that Stephanie White will be the new coach of Indiana. I could be wrong, but I don't.
Speaking of predictions that were wrong, Damon, the NHL, we both predicted our teams would lose yesterday. They both won.
Did I predict we would lose? I think
You
I
were very
predicted that
pessimistic.
I wanted to get off a three-game schneid.
You were
Yeah.
pessimistic about it, though.
Well, that's a Seattle sports fan for you. I mean, that's just the way I feel about most things going in. We had lost three games in a row. Tough games by one goal. It was time that we go out and showed the Canadians what hockey's all about. I love that it's the Canadians that we beat since they're always touting how much better at hockey they are. But yeah, it was we put them in a body bag, 8-2. Montour had a hat trick, which is the second hat trick in Kraken history. Jordan Eberle had the first, and that was back in 2021,
As I said,
in
dude,
our
you've been around
inaugural
for three
season.
years.
Yeah, in our inaugural season. But that was a much needed victory. What did what did the Wild do?
Well, this stupid team, because they're stupid and don't know what they're doing, somehow managed to win a hockey game. Miraculous, I know. With the way I talk about them, you would assume they have like two wins all year. They've won 6 games now. Um, it Pittsburgh's old now. Granted, Minnesota sent Fleury out there because this was Fleury's last game in Pittsburgh. They did some very nice tributes for him. It was all very nice. Uh, Penguins put three past him, but it didn't matter because Minnesota got 5-2 from Freddie Gaudreau, who has been absolutely useless all year, and finally realized, oh, wait, there's a hockey season going on. Maybe I should do something. And don't tell me there's not a player on one of your favorite teams that you're like, oh, this guy finally realized the season's happening.
I mean, yeah, I can't think of any examples of it. We got 6 games tonight, and then we'll get out of your hair for today. We got New York at Columbus, Winnipeg at Detroit, Tampa goes to Colorado. Gobo's at that game right now. Calgary, Utah, Vegas goes to Los Angeles to play the Kings, and you got the Devils in Vancouver. That's a good slate. That's a good slate of games.
I
Which one?
think that
I'd be
late,
watching Calgary at Utah or Tampa at Colorado.
I think Devils Vancouver is good. Dames, how much
All
time
right,
we got?
that's it. That's our time.
We're out of time. All right, folks. We will see you tomorrow. As always, we will be talking about college football probably tomorrow. So be sure to check that out, along with whatever the heck else we talk about. Go watch NFL.
Probably game 6 of the World Series.
We will not be talking about that.
Bet.
What are we betting?